everyone, welcome back to Nourish and Bloom with More in One Cup. Today we want to continue with our Christmas series. We are making some dinner today and we want to start with some mushroom gravy. Right here we have some mushrooms, we have oil, we have whole wheat flour, some nutmeg powder, we have black pepper, coriander, onion powder, butter, onions, some beef stock, fresh thyme and ginger garlic paste. So we're going to go ahead to start cutting this. I was already cutting this, but I thought I should let you know how to clean this up. I prefer to use a paper towel because it's better to just clean this up instead of washing up in water, because then it absorbs all the fluid and it becomes difficult to cook down. I already cleaned this, but it's just as easy as rubbing the paper towel all around it to get rid of any debris or whatever that may be there. And we are just going to proceed with the chopping. So right here we are done with chopping our mushrooms, and I'm just going to collect them in this bowl so that we can start cooking. So we'll be starting with our onions and some oil. We are headed to the pot now to begin to cook. The oil goes in the pan and I'll just be adding the onions. We'll let this become translucent. So I'm just giving this a stir, and then we'll be adding on our mushrooms. So after about a minute or so, we are coming to stir. As you can see, we are looking to achieve the golden brown color at the base. So I'm giving it another stir. As you can see, this has cooked down quite a bit. So at this point, I'm adding on my fresh thyme, the ginger garlic paste. I'm giving this a stir. I'm adding on just a little bit of salt, giving this a quick stir again. So we'll be turning this out into a bowl while we proceed with the cooking. Remember, our heat is turned down quite low. We are adding every other thing in here: the garlic powder, coriander, black pepper, nutmeg, the whole wheat flour, and the butter. It all goes in at once. You want to melt that butter and then gently cook everything in it under very low heat. So just let this sit for about a minute or two, and then we'll be adding our beef stock to this. Here we have our beef stock. I'll just be incorporating that. I'm likely to need a little bit more water with this because it seems a little bit thicker than I want. So right here we'll be introducing about half cup of water. So as you can see, it's beginning to simmer, and I will just be incorporating the mushrooms again into the gravy. Giving this a stir. You can have mushroom gravies with mashed potatoes, baked potatoes. You can even have this with rice. But we'll just let this cook through, and that's that. So with our mushroom gravy, I usually like to serve it with some steak. What we'll do is to season our steak. I already pat dry this. Very simple process. What I do is I just grab a paper towel and I try to get rid of the moisture. As you can see, we have little or no moisture here. This stops it from steaming by the time you transfer it to your hot pan, so that it just gives it a good sear at the base. So we're going to start with salting our steak, and that's a very easy process. I'll also be adding on some black pepper at this stage. I prefer to use ghee because, like I said, it has a high smoking point. So you need this whenever you're cooking under high temperatures. So we'll be heading for the stove top right now. So I'm adding on some ghee at this point. You can see how hot the pan is, and that's what you're looking to have when you're making your steak. And I'm just going to drop this. Adding on a bit more ghee because I think it needs it. So that's what we are looking for. You can see it's a little bit above 140, and I'll just be taking that off the heat. And now, onto our third recipe for the festive season, we'll be making the veggie chicken bowl. So right here we have some chicken, we have some ginger garlic paste, black pepper, onion powder, coriander, herbal paste. It's made with different types of herb and ginger and garlic. If you're interested, drop a comment below and I will make out a video for this. You can also substitute this with just a few fresh herbs and garlic. My favorite is thyme, rosemary, parsley, a little bit of celery, then garlic and ginger. You can also add on some basil. We have some broccoli florets chopped into mini pieces. A source of fiber, a source of nutrients in terms of phytonutrients, in terms of vitamins. So it will be great for the kids to have this with you during the festive season. We have some sesame oil, we have onions powder, we have our Italian herbs, we have coriander, a little bit of butter, we have dry thyme, onions, peas, yellow pepper, carrots, cornstarch. We'll be mixing this with water to make a slurry. We have salt, we have some olive oil, we have our kambuzi peppers, or scotch bonnet. You can actually sub this for scotch bonnet peppers, and the nutmeg. So yes, it's a lot of ingredients. We'll go ahead and start with the chicken first. I'll just add this onto my pot. The ginger garlic paste goes in. We are adding on some of this green herb. And the black pepper goes in. The onion powder goes in. I'm adding on some salt at this point, giving this a good mix. So I'm going to be adding on water. It should be almost at the same level with your chicken. And we'll be placing this on heat. I'll let it cook for just 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll come back and continue with the rest of the ingredients. We're just going to be making a slurry using the cornstarch. Just adding on some water, giving it a good mix. So our chicken is ready at this point. Then we are fishing this out onto a plate. The stock we have left behind, I'll be saving this and we'll be cooking with this later. So in order to brown our chicken, I've been preheating the cast iron skillet and then we'll be adding on our chicken. All that smoke will help give it a little bit of smoky flavor by the time we are done. That's what we are looking for. Like I said, just some color on the chicken. So now go ahead and prep the veggies. We'll be starting with our onions. I'll just head on with my oil and the onions to the pot. So in goes our sesame oil, and then I'll be adding on a little bit of olive oil. The onion goes in. I'll let it cook until it begins to soften, adding on our carrots. The red peppers go in, the yellow peppers go in, and then the green peppers. So at this point we add on our onion powder, the Italian herbs, coriander, and the thyme. So right here we just added the herbs and the spices. I'm going to give this a quick stir. We'll be adding on the ginger garlic paste. Then our butter goes in with the broccoli. I'm just going to stir that. And while this cooks, I'll be adding on my peas onto the stock. I prefer to boil the peas in the stock because I find out it gives a better flavor and it's able to soften easily because peas are a bit tougher than these other veggies. I'm also adding some kambuzi peppers. Turning this out on the platter, as you can see, the veggies are still very crunchy. So I'm adding a bit more water. Our veggies go in. Then we'll be adding in the nutmeg as well. So at this point, we are adding on the chicken. The corn flour slurry using. Our chicken veggie bowl is ready. So this concludes episode 1 of our Christmas dinner. Right here we have the mushroom gravy and steak. We'll be serving this with some baked potatoes. Next is the veggie chicken bowl served with brown rice. Please stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be making an amazing coconut jollof rice that is worthy of your Christmas table. Thanks for sticking with Nourish and Bloom with more in one pot.